Welcome to the first official episode of Tinkle and Vic. Now, I wanted to go with Tinkle and Vic. I'm gonna say this because I basically named us after we went over a bunch of bad ideas, on both parts, by the way.
No, I think our first idea, heel turn, is good. I like that one.
I kind of thought maybe it was too. Look, it's
too like on the nose if you're making bad choices in real life. Yep,
I know. Tinkle, it's Vic, and you know what? Right now we're just talking wrestling, which I think is a good thing, and maybe later on, who knows? But I like the fact that we are just focused on wrestling, and this is the first episode. Tinkle and I have been longtime adversaries, but actually that's not true because we've actually been longtime friends that like to push each other's buttons. We've had
it was like fun. People that we didn't talk to that often thought that we didn't like each other.
Yeah,
we were going to like country music concerts together and stuff, and people are like, they don't like each other. We're like, dude, we just saw the Mavericks like we were a couple bros.
We were dancing together. It was all platonic, by the way. But it wasn't romantic. We just like to have dance with other dudes. It's weird. No, we're bros. We're pals. We've known each other now for a long time. You're talking, we're creeping up on a couple decades now. So it's been a while, and so here we are. We're talking about wrestling, and so we've had some unofficial shows, which we may post at some point. But Tinkle and I were giving each other some homework, and I gave him apparently.
Yeah, well, hold on, dude. So the idea of it is give me every week, give me a match that is like significant to you for some reason. Kind of was the little nugget of where it started. So then the first two that we volleyed to each other were both like, oh, when I was a kid, I was like a big Bret Hart fan. And you gave me this War Games match. And as you're telling me...
First, I gave you the ECW match, just to give me some context. Yes. I gave you the ECW match, which was classic Bam Bam Bigelow versus Taz. I believe it was Living Dangerously, right?
Yes.
And then it was my turn to give Tinkle one, and apparently I gave him something he does not like.
I did not like it. Okay, it was the War Games Great American Bash 1989, which watching Fall that Brawl. Was that Fall Brawl.
It was War Games Fall Brawl 94 maybe, or 93 maybe, 94. I think it was 94.
Yes, yeah. I just turned on because after I watched this match, I wanted to watch a real War Games match. So I was trying to find the one. I guess there's one with the Midnight Express, the Road Warriors, and Jim Cornette versus another team. But I guess it was like at a house show. So, but anyway, I was trying to find that one, and then because that match you gave me. So, first of all, I'm going to start off my critique by saying, who the fuck is Bunkhouse Buck? He's like someone's friend. I don't know. I Googled because I was like, who is this dude? Like, he's a big guy, but he was like
let's explain, because we told him the event, but it's Dustin Rhodes, the Nasty Boys versus the Colonel Robert Parker Stud Stable, featuring Bunkhouse Buck, Arn Anderson,
and
Terry Funk, and Ming was also originally supposed to be in it, but then they did a swerve, and Parker was in the matchup.
I wonder if like he was injured, because all Ming did was like shake the cage, but he's so strong you could tell he wasn't shaking it 100, because like it looked like he was gonna come off. Like, it was really funny.
Ming, one of the legit killers in the world that everybody agrees could kill or would have dominated MMA and probably murdered somebody in the cage if that had been during this era. This is a guy who some of the stories have him biting
noses,
a chunk of somebody's back off and spitting it into the air, fighting cops. Ming is or Haku, as he was known in the WWE, is a legit tough guy.
Yeah.
So you didn't like it. You had a problem with Bunkhouse Buck that wrestled in his long underwear and his jeans with suspenders?
Dude, he was so nondescript. But then just seeing like the promo with the Nasty Boys and like Dusty Rhodes, I imagine you being younger and thinking it was pretty awesome. So that was why I was like, I won't shit on it too much, because like I did the same thing when I had you watch that like British Bulldog. It was such a big moment in my life as a little kid. Then when I watched it again, it's like it's like a 3 out of 10 match. It's like not even that. So I can see how your kid and mine were like nasty, nasty, nasty.
It was a matchup for kids. Number one, it was
Yeah.
War Games, and it wasn't bloody.
There's no blood.
It was basically Saturday morning cartoons, but I loved it. I don't know why. To this day, I will still watch that. The promos that led up to that matchup, where he went in and told the Nasty Boys, which the people don't know this.
Oh yeah, he goes into
he goes into a bar, and one of the Nasty Boys is actually his brother-in-law, right? I believe so, because his brother-in-law. His real life family members, his brother that were by marriage, are not is it Sags? Yes, Sags, not Knobs, Sags, and the Shockmaster himself, Tugboat, Mr. Smoot. He's actually a Dusty. Those are two of Dusty Rhodes' brother-in-laws, and so it was funny seeing him they're talking to two guys about family. It was like a scene out of Crocodile Dundee. Remember when he goes into that bar and recruits those guys so he can save what's her name?
You're missing a big part of this bar, dude. He goes into this bar, and there's just dudes around not wearing shirts. There's just bros not doing. And it's not that. I was like, wait, why is that guy not wearing a shirt? And then there's another guy not wearing a shirt. And then it's just like Dusty Rhodes trying to like talk these dudes into being on his team, like come to the promised land, baby, or whatever he was saying.
He wanted to see if they were nasty, if they were really nasty enough to go into.
Let's get nasty, baby.
And they were. The Nasty Boys are an underrated tag team, in my opinion.
Like, did they ever have any like I wonder, did they ever have any like hardcore matches or like anything else? And then they kind of watered down, or
not like we wanted them to. Knobs was a hardcore champion afterwards. I think Sags had a bad back, or something happened with him. He got injured. He was out. Of course, a lot of his Knobs lasted a lot longer than he did.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe we didn't get to see prime Nasty Boys because maybe earlier they were.
No, they were fine. They were during an era. People.
Yeah, if you're a kid.
Yeah, we were a kid. They were nasty. They wore the colorful shirts.
Yeah,
they were jerks. And then when they were in WCW, they had Missy Hyatt. They had not to be a perv, but they had prime Missy Hyatt.
Don't worry. If we talk about Dynamite, we're gonna be talking about the Battle of the Buns later on between Storm and Sky. Don't worry.
Oh yeah,
don't worry.
But look, man, and look, to give people a prelude, I want to talk about Dynamite, and I want to actually focus. I don't know if you saw Smackdown.
Well, hold on.
Past Friday.
Can we go back to me shitting on this War Games match, and then we'll?
Yeah, no, go ahead. But I just want to give people a preview. Those are the two main things we're going to focus on, I think, this week. But so, what else about this that you didn't like? So guys were hanging out.
No. It wasn't like I didn't like it. It was just like, dude, of all the War Games, this is like I was so like what I like. It was so, but for the promo alone was pretty great, and of course Bobby Heenan crushing it on commentary.
Oh,
like anytime crushing it.
That's what made it, because Colonel Robert Parker is an overactor, and I always wonder why he had like just a short stint in WWE, and it probably has to do with that. Because remember, he was at one point he was Jeff Jarrett's manager.
Oh yeah,
WWE, and in WCW. He was this overactor. But he had this really great, in a comical way, group of some of the most badass wrestlers ever. We just talked about Ming Haku, Arn Anderson's, and Terry Funk. Those are Hall of Fame guys. And in fact,
Funk is so good.
Oh, my God.
Funk is so good. Like when Dusty Rhodes was coming in, Funk was just like. He was doing this weird thing where he's like, oh, he's coming, but he's doing his little funky elbows. He's getting ready to fight him. Oh, it's so great.
He could get away with that. To this day, I need to go get some cowboy boots, because I just want to have that. I want to have the possibility of that moment where I get into a fight, which, I'm 40, I'm in my early 40s. I'm not going to be getting into a street fight. But if I did, and I was so mad, I would pull off my boot and start beating him like he did. I think he did that in War Games. He pulled off his boot and started working on him with his boot. He was wrestling in one boot and a sock and using the other boot as a weapon. I mean, who does that these days in matches like that? No. Yeah, I miss that war game. I know they had the bloody ones, but that one was such a good cartoon. And the whole moment was built to see Colonel Rob Parker get put in the figure 4 and submit and look like a little bitch.
Oh yeah, and then that was the thing too. It went like a goddamn minute. Like when they all got in the ring, it was really short because there was only 4 guys instead of 5.
Right.
And also it's so clear who's going to be the dude. Also, I made a note, dude. That was like the closest that Dustin Rhodes ever got to looking like Dusty Rhodes, dude. He was pleasantly plump, dude. He was like, it's so funny to see him now because he's so like svelte and perfect, great shape. He's like,
you know what's weird?
Yoga body.
You know what's weird about that match is and the same with street fights and everything. I used to love it when the wrestlers would come out and they weren't dressed in their tights. Like I remember Six doing a War Games, Six, 1, 2, 3 Kid, X-Pac doing a War Games, and he came out in jeans and boots, and he had, for some reason, he had like the hard plastic knee pads on. I don't know why. It said something. Little things like that made a big difference. So when they came out in their jeans, like they were ready for a fight, even Lance Storm, he had believe it or not, I think for some reason it was like a more of a street fight, ECW, which was always a street fight. But he came out one time wearing jeans and tank top. I'm like, oh, this stuff it's about to go down now.
About go down.
Lance Storm's not wearing.
He's wearing his good jeans.
He's wearing his good jeans and his tank top. He's ready for a fight.
That's funny.
I don't know why, but that always, and so it was funny. And then the just seeing what's his name, and I forget if he did. I should have rewatched it with you, but I've seen that match so many times. But he had a shirt on like the Nasty Boys, the American Dream, and I believe it said American Nightmare.
I think it did. Yes, it did. It did.
It said American Nightmare, which is a little like Easter egg now with the fact that his son's the American Nightmare. But
yeah,
it was amazing. The promos leading up to that, when he's like telling Dustin we're family, because I think that was a time in real life when they started having real issues. But man, I loved it. I love that thing. I defend it to the day.
All right. So next week we're gonna have a match that took me like 3 years as a kid to finally see, or 2 years maybe. But let's do Starrcade Night of the Skywalkers, Road Warriors versus Midnight Express scuffle match. That's when Big Bubba completely misses Jim Cornette and he breaks both his kneecaps. Because that one, when I was a kid, that was like, I remember seeing the preview and seeing them like dangling on the bottom, and I was like, oh, like it's so weird because when you're an adult, you're like, well, yeah, well, no one's gonna. I mean, maybe if it's AEW, someone may die, but back, it's like they're gonna be okay. But it was really scary as a kid.
Now, look, before we dissect AEW, because there's a lot to dissect this week, okay?
Yeah, that episode yesterday was a lot. There was a lot going on.
I want to go into last week's SmackDown because it was one of the better SmackDowns I've seen. And we don't have to go into the minutia with all the other side stuff, because to be honest with you right now, WWE's main storylines are killing it. WWE is on a huge roll. Bloodline or Judgment Day, they're doing amazing. And
they're making JD Big Head like he's like cool now. It's like he's great. I think he's great. It's just like usually those like vanilla dudes, they have a hard time getting kind of where people give a shit about him. But he's even getting over, dude. Like people are into that guy. I mean, someone's got to take the pin, but.
And that's exactly what they're using him for. But they gave him the rub. They made him really earn his spot. And I think that's why people are now coming around to him, because he really did earn his spot.
He also has a big head, and he makes fun of it himself. I guess people on Twitter are like merciless to him all the time. And he's like, I guess Randy Orton was on Jake Paul's podcast, and then he's like, I guess Paul said something about that guy with the big head, JD. He's all, he knows he has a big head. He's aware of it.
Look, man, I just thought the Randy Orton thing, because I was wondering what they're going to do with Orton, because the first thing everybody thinks from Survivor Series, which we're not going to get into, everybody's hashed that out. We've already kind of discussed this, which I'm happy, and we'll rehash it at some point again with CM Punk when there's a next development. But everybody was thinking there's too much going on now. What are you gonna do? You have CM Punk, you have Randy Orton. CM Punk kind of stole Orton's thunder, but then you get to Raw, you have the whole situation happen. He comes out there, gives a 6-minute thing. It's not the pipe bomb, but it's gonna get better.
I think it was like that, so he didn't steal any thunder from any. Like it was like, oh, here he is. He's gonna be here soon. Kind of. Now that I saw what they did with Randy Orton, I think they did that on purpose. I mean, I know he got his time cut also, but he didn't say shit in that promo.
He was such a look. Number one, the daddy's line, amazing, and the merch they pulled out. If I'm going to criticize anything, the merchandise they put out for daddy's back is really lame for Randy Orton. It's just like in block letters, daddy's back or daddy's home, and on the front it says RKO with like no. I mean, it's like somebody just put a font in there and just automatically wrote it up. But that whole thing was a great reintroduction. And then they move him to SmackDown where he just picks up with the bloodline and just gives an injection into that whole situation that is necessary right now, because a lot of people were saying the bloodline angle was starting to teeter. And here you have Orton, I'm coming for revenge. He ends up, making his mark, RKOing people. Then RKO's Nick Aldis out of nowhere as well. Why? Because that's the whole point of the character. He's a Viper. I mean, I really enjoyed SmackDown. I don't know why, but I think that, look, I don't think they're not every batter's up there, hitting 300, but all the people that are supposed to be hitting 300 are hitting 300, and they just
and some that shouldn't be are too. Like some, there's like, I was just thinking, even like Nick Aldis, like that like authority character a lot of times feels like there's an authority character because they need an authority figure, not because they have someone who'll be good in that role. Nick Aldis is great, dude.
Oh yeah.
And what's so cool is you're already excited because if you follow wrestling, he's actually really good.
Right.
And he's still in his prime. So it's like there's a little hint that he's going to be, I hope they drag it out long, like him, because they're going to build towards Adam Pearce and him, which is cool. That's like, you're excited. I'm excited about Adam Pearce match with like Nick Aldis. That may happen in a year, may happen in 2 years, but they're on a roll so much now. They have like a bunch of stories that are, like you said, a bunch of storylines. It's really good.
Yeah, they got a lot of stories, and I really appreciate it. And I think you could get on some little minutia over there and that whatever, but I like where they're going with Orton. I think there's a lot of potential in Punk. Roman Reigns is still relevant, and he's been on the sidelines for months now. Cody Rhodes, you got stuff going down with him, with Shinsuke Nakamura. The Uso brothers are all over the place, and the Judgment Day, I mean, is amazing. Rhea Ripley is amazing. And I think that's another thing, too. The only thing I wish is, you got it at that Royal Rumble, which I happened to be there with my nephew. I took him there for his birthday in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's one last year?
That was 2019, I believe. But it's crazy how time is flying, dude. But the one where he hit the RKO on Nia Jax.
Okay.
Remember that? And I'm kind of waiting on, everybody's kind of waiting on something like that for Rhea Ripley that doesn't, that still, I know people love her for the most part, and I do too, but I still want to see her get her comeuppance because she can be annoying sometimes. Yeah. And Dom and JD McDonough are getting their comeuppance right now, and that's something we always enjoy. And it's amazing how much Dom has developed. But I'm just, that's my point on SmackDown. I think they're really going in a great direction.
Dude, did you read that other snippet from Jake Paul's podcast when he was saying how he had Randy on, and he said, hey, I was backstage and I saw Dom and I was getting ready to wrestle his dad, and I'm like, hey man, your dad's dope, dude. He's a legend. And Dom said, fuck that guy.
He said that.
Dude, fuck that guy. And he's dialed in, man.
He's dialed in. You got to appreciate that. Hopefully he doesn't go too far.
In this day and age, yeah, dude.
like Nikita Koloff, where he pretends he's Russian for his rest of his life.
Yeah, dude, you know he used to do that voice in the plane with all the other guys on the way to work.
He changed his name legally and everything, and now he's like, oh, he's a born again Christian who's got a ministry.
He had a
good for him.
reality show.
Yeah, so he's like, I can't change back now. It's too late.
It was a weird show with like Christian parents, but all the kids were like good looking, like 18 to 24-year-olds or what. It was really weird, dude.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I try to, I learned from Hogan Knows Best. Hogan Knows Best killed the Hulk Hogan mystique. Was such a terrible idea.
No one wants to smell Hulk Hogan's farts.
So AEW Dynamite Tinkle, you and I both watched it last night, and there's so much to unpack. And I want to preface everything by saying that I do not want to be looked upon. At one point, AEW to me was a legitimate threat, and I was like a little torn.
It was hope, right? It was hope. It was hope in a world of chaos.
I mean, I've always been a WWE guy, but I was willing to split and let everything be happy and fine. And there's been some turns. So yesterday they opened up. And
dude, I believe AEW is like, I dare you to like our program, dude.
I think it is. Look, I know what their audience is, but I don't know if it's working out. And if you see the reports and some of the videos and images I've seen, and by the way, I may go to an AEW event
or lack thereof.
Yeah, I may go to an event next week, a Ring of Honor event and a Collision.
Dude, if you wait the day before, it'd be like $20, dude. I did that out here.
That's what I'm gonna do, because I'm very surprised at the situation regarding attendance. But anyway, it opens up, Tinkle, and they start off with the Continental Classic. Now what we know about the Continental Classic is it's actually going to be a belt. It's a title. They're adding yet another title to the situation over there.
It's a fake like Triple Crown. You're like, they're inventing their Triple Crown without the history.
It is.
They're doing it backwards, right?
Look, WCW had at one point the world title, the US title, the TV title, the cruiserweight title, and the hardcore title, and then the tag titles, of course. And before that, even they had a US tag title and everything. And I know I don't know what they're doing with the Ring of Honor brand, but the Ring of Honor brand has a very consistent presence. It's all the same on AEW. So right now we have the world title, the Ring of Honor world title, which is, by the way, going to be, like you said, the Triple Crown into this continental thing. But let's separate this. The Ring of Honor, the AEW world title, the Ring of Honor world title, the TNT championship, the TV championship from Ring of Honor. We're going to have the Continental Championship, the New Japan Strong Championship. By the way, New Japan, AAA, and God, who's the other one? It's New Japan, AAA, and
is it CMM or C?
No, it's not Mexico.
CML?
It's there's been another brand that's basically defended.
Noah.
No, they've had the open weight though thing in there. I'm trying to think that there's one more I was trying to think of. Again, listen how confusing this is. You've got the Ring of Honor tag titles. You've got the regular tag titles. You've got with the women now, even just the women. You have the women's title, the TBS championship, the Ring of Honor women's world championship. Dude, it is getting crazy. Then you have now it's not the All Atlantic. They changed it to the International, which I still don't understand the reasoning behind that. We're getting around 12 belts.
Yeah.
12 separate belts over there.
Dude, when I was a kid and I played with my toys, I used to give everyone a championship too, because I didn't want anyone to be like left out. And this dude's doing it in real life.
Look, man, the Ring of Honor belt should not be on there. I don't understand the point.
No, I just realized what you meant. I thought it was always the television title, and now I realize what you said, and it's a little disheartening, dude.
What do you mean?
Like it's just going to be it's just lumped in with two other belts. That one they made up, and one is like basically like New Japan Caucasian is what it should be called, but they don't call it that.
Right. I'm trying to think about it, because you got Ring of Honor, CMLL has, like we talked about, CMLL has made an appearance, I believe, one of the belts. The AAA has made their belt, of course, on there. And I'm going back to that New Japan, but there was one other promotion that has Impact been on there? I think Impact was on there once.
Impact was on there. Yep.
Like, come on. Well,
because
nothing
remember,
means nothing.
Kenny Omega had all the belts. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he won them all, and then he lost them all, and then he lost them.
I don't mind that if they show up and they wear another brand's thing, but Ring of Honor brand is essentially AEW brand. Let's just not beat around the bush on that.
It's not even really a thing, dude. It's kind of a bummer. Like, this kid just won't let someone else run his shit, so we can get a real show.
I don't know why I don't think Ring of Honor has benefited from being under their purview. I know it was struggling before, but I don't
it's not even a thing, dude. It's not. I mean, if we're really talking, it's only a promotion by names and by individual matches every couple weeks or whatever.
The only, the women's championship hasn't shown up as much, but Athena has occasionally makes appearance. The women's championship has been primarily defended on Ring of Honor, and I just don't understand how you justify making another belt. And the reason they're putting the three of them is because at some point New Japan's going to take their belt back, and they're going to break them all up again.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't. But I don't understand why you would have another. What is the point? Don't you have the international belt? You just made that one. WCW was often criticized for that. WWE gets criticized all the time for because they split the world championship to two brands. That at least makes sense in my viewpoint. But to have a dozen belts, 10 of which, are yours, and they're being just thrown around. Like, at what point just do a tournament? At this point, I don't know if how into sports you are, Tinkle. We've never really talked about tournaments.
Every fucking week there's a tournament.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
don't get me started on this tournament, dude.
There's the other one. That's not the one I was talking about, but the Owen Hart tournament, which again, everybody gets a belt for that one as well. A cup. Give me a break. So anyway, they start off with that. I didn't even get into the first real part. They start off with this, and Moxley and Rush have one of the weakest matches of the night to open up.
Dude, because Rush is like, I can't figure this dude out, dude. He's good, but it's like,
I know they got WWE guys running the production cameras, but there was 3 times where you saw like Moxley going over and giving him direction, and it's like, pull the camera back, do something, like go to a different angle. What are you doing,
dude? Rush wrestles like he doesn't have a boss telling him what to do, dude. So he like does just enough. If you watch that dude, he barely sells, man. Him and Moxley, like, that's why, because both those guys are like, they're like want to be like road warriors in terms of like being like impervious to pain. They don't sell shit. So I knew going into it was going to be kind of a mess.
He tapped out to a sleeper and immediately got back up and tried to do. I was.
Oh no! He passed out, dude.
Yeah.
Even worse, he didn't tap. He passed out from a sleeper.
Passed out, immediately got up and was in the ref's face.
Yeah, he doesn't sell shit, dude.
He does not sell anything. So that was the start of the night. And then it set the tone.
You got actually, dude. Let's talk about this. I don't know if you noticed it. This is, dude. I was like yelling at the TV. They're explaining like the count out rules, right? As they're explaining the count out rules, these dudes are breaking the count out rules as they're saying the fucking rules. I'm like, wait a second, hold on. And then, because I was like, oh, that's a cool thing. That's how you can give, because another thing we're going to talk about is it's not fair that these tournaments work because there's like usually 10 dudes in a block. So there's like tons more matches. So you get a couple jobbers in there. But dude, when you only have 5 people in a block or 6 people in a block, like the jobbers are like good dudes. It's like the fact that Mark Briscoe jobbed 3 goddamn, I mean, we'll get into it, but dude, he jobbed, lethal job. It's like,
oh yeah, they were explaining that now Mark Briscoe
is mathematically eliminated, dude. On the anniversary of his brother's death. Fuck off, dude.
But he's still going to participate.
Fuck off. This is, dude, his brother died a year ago, and dude, they have
they've blown it.
They blew it so bad, dude. That guy, if you watch, he has this like charisma that you can't put anything around. And then remember, he came out and it was kind of like, and then he did a couple of his little things. All of a sudden, the crowd's like, "Oh, that's right, we forgot. We love this dude, but he loses all the time." And you could feel I was like, "Are they going to let him win just because?" Like, and then no, dude, no, he just lost 3 times in a row.
It was a waste it was a waste.
And he's gonna have 5 losses in a row on the anniversary of his brother's death. Just wait, dude. Just wait.
Who did he lose to again? By the way, I was watching
everybody.
Yeah, but who did he lose to this yesterday? Like again, it was so unmemorable. The whole thing.
Jay White. Wait,
Jay White fought
Swerve. I swerve when I drive.
Yeah. It did. I just didn't think it did any. That match didn't do anything for Swerve. It didn't do any. Like I can't even remember.
Well, it was a great match, but it's like, dude, like it was. I mean, unless you make Mark Briscoe win, like the whole point of these tournaments is you could do cool storylines, and so far there's no B or C storylines. It's all like, it's just all about who's going to win the thing. Where you could be telling these, whatever, dude.
Look, real life is messy that way, and I understand you put that in. Sometimes people, don't make it, they go to the bottom. I just don't understand with this tournament. And to be honest with you, besides a simple bracket tournament like King of the Ring, this is a very European thing and a very Japanese thing. And like soccer, round robin stuff. I was listening to JR on his podcast talk about how he did a round robin thing, and he got a lot of criticism for it, but he wanted to do it. And now even he was kind of like, it came across to me like he was hedging on it. Like maybe I wouldn't have done that second time around. And this stuff, our audience, you win, you move forward. You win, you move forward. Yeah. It's doesn't make sense to do this. Oh, we're going to participate even though you can't win it.
Well, dude, do it like New Japan, but see, what's the problem is they don't have house shows. I was going to say, you could do it like over a month. You could do the same tournament, but more people in over a month, have clips from house shows but they don't do house shows. And then it would be something that kind of happens in the background as it gets closer to the end. So you don't feel like now they're jamming 20-minute matches down our throat that the guy's not going to win.
You're right. All the prelim stuff and the weird matchups should be on house shows, and everything on TV should be later on when it gets whittled down. But they don't think like that. They want to show this whole thing for this title that they're making up that doesn't mean anything because you have a crap load of other titles.
Well, another great example
titles
is, remember when, that Japanese tournament isn't on. New Japan doesn't jam that down the audience's throat, dude. You can watch it if you want to, or you don't have to. Or you can just follow it, and you don't have to watch every match. But it's like the same thing that they did with oh, damn it, dude. What was I thinking? I saw the thought going like this, dude. I saw it flying away, and I tried to grab it by the nuts, and I missed it.
Well, look, I just don't think this tournament's going in the right direction. Eddie Kingston was a double champion, and right now he hasn't won a match.
Why would you give up your dude? That whole thing was so stupid.
No,
unless they did a story where he relapsed and started drinking again and making bad choices.
He should have put both belts on in the finals if he made the finals. That's the only place it makes any sense. But that's our opinion, and our opinions and views are
right now
expressed by us. Yeah, we're pretty right on right now. So we get to that match. Jay Lethal, Jay White, great match. It did its part as well. Moxley cuts a grotesque promo. He's still trying to be cool. He's one of all the people that went over, his character, I think he benefited way more. I know people criticize Dean Ambrose character, but I think Dean Ambrose made a lot more sense than this guy does. Whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't sell. He's like a fake pit fighter. It's funny. Yeah. He has a swagger of an MMA dude, but it's not real. So it's kind of laughable in a way.
He's too cartoony to be the MMA fighter. He's too funny. That's why
And his strikes suck. If you're an MMA fighter, make your strikes look better, dude.
They tried to sell him on that you're diehard of WWE. You're John McClane of WWE, and that makes sense. I remember he used to be so funny too. He had a great line, and he's given all that up because that was his strong suit. He had a great line when Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury came out for the Authority to get him, and he goes, Jesus, they sent the cruiserweight division after me. And it was funny. Like I never forgot that. And he used to be funny. And I'm probably in the outsource. Maybe they shouldn't have gone the cancer angle with Roman Reigns, but I kind of wanted to see how that character panned out with the weird Bane coat and everything. But he wasn't into it, and if you're not into it, you don't get it. That's what happened with Razor Ramon and Goldust. Razor wasn't into it; they moved on because they weren't going to get what they wanted out of it. But they had that promo. You had the Samoa Joe stuff with MJF. Which
let's talk about that. You want to? Who do you think is the devil? Let's just get right to it.
I think it's Roderick Strong, Adam Cole. I think that's where they're going to. I don't think it's funny because we can go into MJF, but because he's a part of this whole thing. I think MJF is all over the place. I wish they'd kind of narrow it down for us a little bit.
I don't like this baby face.
No, he was better as a heel. They just want to do this is the equivalent of if they just took Stone Cold. Stone Cold was awesome, but there was an intermediate where he was kind of riding the fence, and then there was a point where he was over on the other side of the fence, and it really wasn't that cool, but you were so conditioned to love Steve Austin, and I think we've skipped all that to straight to that. He's our scumbag. Buy my t-shirt, and I just don't buy it. I think you leave him alone. And I think that's why Austin lasted a lot longer, because for a while there, they pretty much left him alone. You still wanted him to do the stunner on everybody.
Yeah.
DTA. And with MJF, that's what I want. I want a heel. I want a bad guy. I want him to be a jerk. I don't want him to pander to me. But I
don't like when he keeps telling us about his feelings. When I was
why are you showing him get his
me?
Why are you?
I didn't know if I could ever be loved again. Fuck off, dude.
Why are you showing him They showed him at like the Living Health Center getting put back together. I don't want to see him like that. I want to see him like kind of invincible a little bit.
By the way, have you noticed AEW makes me swear a lot?
Yeah, it does. It does. You have a potty mouth. I think I've only cursed once, and you've cursed like 30 times already.
Dude, they pissed me off. I was like yelling at the TV earlier when I was watching it. I was catching up on it, and they're just like glaringly obvious issues that you're like, God darn it! If you just and they're all real like fixable. There's a lot of okay.
I don't mind this. I don't mind this angle with Samoa Joe and MJF. I just think they made a mistake. They went too far to the babyface with MJF early on.
Yeah,
I think it's a little over confusing. I'm assuming that Adam Cole's going to be the guy, and Roderick Strong and those guys. It makes sense to me.
All right. So one thing, I don't know if you know this, but my boy Kyle O'Reilly, he's back. He's behind the scenes right now.
Oh,
so
really?
he also may be one of the dudes. But what about Wardlow or Britt? It could be a combination of Britt too. Like
Wardlow's going to come out of nowhere and just get him when he's down. That's my opinion. So I don't think it's Wardlow.
Well, did you see though that last week he like the mask guys were in the ring, and then when he had a match, his hair looked messed up, like he just had a mask on?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that.
A lot of people think it was, I mean, maybe it was definitely him in person, but whether or not he ends up being part of the I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Wardlow formed if they do a new Undisputed Era with the originals plus Wardlow and Britt, I'm cool with that.
I think it's Brian Cutler and Mike Nakazawa.
Oh my god, dude! If it's the fucking Young Bucks, man, sorry, dude.
It's
I
the
know,
dark
I know we have a no. I know we're trying to get on YouTube, and I'm not helping out our situation at all.
It's the Dark Order. It's the Dark
Oh my
Order.
god, dude! I swear to God, if it's Little John Silver,
yeah, Johnny Likey. What is it? What's his other one? Johnny Hungy?
yeah, Johnny Hungy. I don't call any guy that.
So we go through. Okay, so the tournament we've kind of gone through. We don't have to.
Wait, so what do you think about Britt Baker as a possible devil? I think that one's obvious. I think that may be like
that would be interesting. I'd like
she
to
may
see
be
that.
the one who's in charge of everyone else under her, and then I think you can get like Wardlow in that.
The problem with having women involved in this makes me sound so
Dude, as soon as you said that, I was like, I'm listening.
But you don't get we're in the time era where you're not going to get that pay. It's not like Sensational Sherry or Dusty Rhodes hitting Baby Doll or anything. I really don't want to see that. You don't want to see Britt Baker kind of, get her come. It's hard to give them their.
No, she's a little waif, dude. It was also different because like Sherry back in the day when she get DET'd or whatever, like they're all like thick chicks. You know what I mean? They were all like. Now they're all like mall models.
Yeah. So okay. So we got to get into this because it's going to get me probably going on a rant. It's going to make me sound misogynistic more.
Oh, here we go.
But it's not because
is this the battle of the buns?
I think women can do anything. If there's a woman that can do what Tinkle does, I'd rather be looking at her than
battle of the buns.
And because I respect her mind more than
here we go. Battle of the buns.
The Battle of the Buns happens. Sky Blue comes out with her new kind of darkened blue look. They should call her Indigo Blue. And she faces Timeless Tony Storm. And they introduce her with the guy from TCM, Mankiewicz, I believe his name is. And I enjoyed that part, but I don't know how much that's going to get you. That's real inside baseball, real synergy with the WB.
It's almost like some kid has extra money to burn, dude.
Oh yeah. And so I love the Tony Storm entrance, and right now I'm still amused with the whole thing. And by the way, I enjoyed the matchup as well. I enjoy the dynamic she has with that weird guy Luther.
Dude, there was one point where if you can imagine me being the voice of Jim Brown from the UFC 1, all I saw was ass.
Yeah.
There was one point where they were laying on that mat, and I was like, did we talk about, dude, this like butts, this is all new, dude. Like when I was young and I watched wrestling, there was no hot girls. And you had to like,
yeah,
they were like Wendy Richter and like the Moolah and then like Medusa was sort of pretty, kind of like, but
and Medusa's so unlikable now. I can't look at her as an attractive person because she's just so unlikable.
Yeah, and now it's like, like earlier, doing a girl like walked in that room as I was watching the match. I almost turned it like I was watching porn. Like it was, they were just like I didn't. I'm not trying to be
booty a creep. Booty shorts are prominent. We've talked about Rhea Ripley's booty before, and it's not.
Oh, look, but that's last night was special. Last night was.
We're not trying to go there, but it's like there. It's out there.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah,
I would rather it not be out there because like I can get my butt fixed. The only thing like I feel like it's like I'm not like we're not doing that right now. Put all the asses away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
we were trying to respect these ladies, and they were putting their booties in our face. That's reality. We were at a strip club saying we want you to get your GEDs. We want you to go get your community college gear. We're going to help you get through school. And they were saying, they were like, here's my booty. And it's going to be hard for us. Look, you're right. And we've talked about this, but by the way, this is going to sound so bad when I say this in a weird, not in the bad way you think it is. I would like more modesty with some of these women wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding with you.
You know what? I'm going to take it one step further.
I like
those Saudi Arabian guys know what they're talking about.
I knew you were gonna go there. I'm not asking for the Saudi Arabia stuff.
I am full
but
body suits, dude.
I'd like some long tights. I don't think that I kind of don't like it's so obviously they're trying to get sexualize these women now to the point where it's not. It's like I'm living in a nudist colony. And so now I'm just like, I wonder what
Dude,
that woman would look like on with a dress on, like with a
if I was
nice
a 14-year-old
formal
boy,
gown.
last night's Dynamite episode would have took me 4 hours to get through, if you know what I'm talking about.
Look. What would if you were 12? If you were 14 years old and you had access to the internet? How messed up are you going to be later on? You
Yeah,
know what
right.
I
I
mean?
was thinking that, dude. Imagine being like in school and all the girls in your class have all their photos on there, and you can just
Look,
be a creep.
it's okay to be sexy. We're not saying that, and but we're not trying to, and we're not sitting. We weren't going into this trying to say we wanted to see the bra and panties matches. Even though we don't mind, we're men, we didn't mind those back in the day. We wanted to see a real women's wrestling match, but we get distracted when they put these ladies in garbs that are, pretty
And
revealing.
also, like Tony Storm, she was just, what's the polite way to say it? She was just born different. How's that?
Yeah, these are
She
little
was
bottom
born
heavy.
different.
They're bottom heavy ladies, and I appreciate that I appreciate them as persons, performers. But by the way, I didn't get that impression. To be the Tony Storm get up is totally like era accurate, and I love it.
Yeah.
But Sky Blue, those were a little bit, those were above the hoochie line.
Yeah.
I thought I
Yeah. I
was
think
like,
she has like two different layers of like
I mean,
stockings on underneath.
just put her in some tights. I'd like to see a lady go out there in a singlet, just in a nice singlet with some modesty, doing some doing some collegiate style wrestling move. You know what? I would appreciate that. I think there's something sexy about that as well. But the only thing that takes me out, and look, this is she can do whatever she wants. It's her body, her choice. But was whenever they get a close up closer to that that Edward Scissorhands tattoo that Tony Storm has, and I'm like, oh, because that thing looks revolting when you get up close to it. But
Wait, this is Edward Scissorhands?
she has a giant Edward Scissorhands on her calf.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll have to look at it.
it's a giant portrait of Edward Scissorhands. Johnny
Is it
Depp.
good?
I mean, yeah, but I just it's like these girls that get. Oh my God, we're gonna get.
Oh my God, I gotta tell you a story about it.
It's like these girls that get the Nightmare Before Christmas tattoos. It's just, it's not a good idea. No matter how great the art is, it's not a good idea.
I gotta tell you a story. I was doing the New Year's Eve countdown show in San Francisco, and with Patton Oswalt and Dana Gould and a bunch of other heavy hitters. So, dude, I'm in the green room with Dana Gould and Patton Oswalt, and I'm just trying not to say anything stupid. And they start talking about like movies, and they start talking about like Tim Burton and how he sucks and how he's like not good. And I go, well, what about Edward Scissorhands? And right when I said it, I was like, ah. And they both turn around, and Dana Gould goes, yeah, if you're a 14-year-old girl. And then that was the last time I intervened in the conversation. Although both dudes, class acts, 100%.
Batman 1989. Everybody has a hit, you know. Oh, by the way, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I know.
I don't care.
They're snobs.
They're just cynical.
They're snobs.
Patton Oswalt, the one from all the Marvel movies and Kevin James show.
Yeah, but his stand up is so underrated, dude.
Yeah.
I can't repeat a lot of them on here because they don't age very well. But
no, I hear you. I've heard
stand up is great, man.
But I just want to make sure because there's two Patton Oswalts, aren't there? Isn't there the one that Norm Macdonald referenced in that infamous joke about Cosby on Seinfeld show? Did you ever see that?
Oh, I definitely know what joke it is because he did it when I saw him at Caroline's one night, and that was literally like he was having a rough set for whatever reason, and that was the only joke that like it crushed.
The one where Patton Oswalt told me that the thing that offended him most about the Bill Cosby situation was the hypocrisy. And then he goes, and then Seinfeld's like, you didn't agree? And he's like, nope. I thought I was most offended by the raping.
That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah, because when I saw
more.
him, it was like some girl. It was like a girl. He's like, I thought the most offensive thing was all the rapes.
He has a. I was going to re-put it up the other day, but he has a great suicide take that if you look at it aesthetically, I was like, it's just hilarious, but nobody likes to joke about suicide or anything like that. But
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
kind
don't
of funny.
you don't judge me.
So who won that? Dude, do you even know who won that Tony Storm? I
She
wouldn't know
won.
who won if one of them
Well,
didn't have a belt.
let me note a couple of things. Number one, she was doing it at one point. She was doing a thing where she's like shaking her legs like a little bit, and Taz is like, I don't know what she's doing there or whatever, and being like, but clearly she was like trying to do like old school Gorgeous George wrestling, and that cracked me up. I sat there and I started laughing because she just kept shaking
Yeah.
her legs and doing these weird
Oh,
things.
she's definitely in it, dude.
Oh, she
she is committed 100,000%.
so she wins, and then guess who comes out to challenge her?
Oh, God damn it, dude.
Riho.
In a whole new outfit.
In a whole new outfit, and they have him facing off. And
the crowd couldn't give two shits, dude.
And I'm trying not to. You know what's funny is, by the way, her and Sky Blue, they had an okay match, but the entrance and everything was like the funny stuff. I don't even think Sky Blue was kind of keeping up with her. Like the level was too different.
No, she's too new, dude.
And what's her name should be in WWE. You know, at this point, I don't know why she left, but she'll probably hang around with Juice Robinson, her husband. But anyway, Rio comes out. They do the stare down. And if you just take a snapshot in your head, you see a woman who's not like a giant woman in Tony Storm, and a significantly smaller woman who looks like a child. I mean, I don't want to call her a child because I'm not trying to be disrespectful in that way, but I mean, and then she does a terrible drop kick to her, and she lands in Luther's arms, and they do the dramatic, Starlet take her away, and I'm just like, Riho.
We like have to remember all these girls are like practicing in like real time.
Yeah.
Like when I see Sky Blue and all these young chicks, when I'm like, this match is garbage. You have to remember, like, we're literally watching people practice.
Why can't they do that with ROH? Why can't they put these people over there and defend them? I don't understand why she has to challenge for the title. And by the way, the titles do not have to be defended every week. You would think, the AEW title probably hasn't been defended since the last pay-per-view. I guess you're right. So the timeless Tony Storm gimmick is great. I don't know where it goes from here, but it's amazing, and I like certain things about it, but I don't know where they're going with Sky Blue at all. And then now they're all giving them these weird flower headdresses like they're Puerto Rican. I don't understand it. Maybe she is Puerto Rican. I don't know her lineage.
I think she's like Asian, I think.
Sky Blue?
Who knows? Yeah, like a little bit, I think.
Good for her. We go through that. And I mean, is there anything missing before I get to the main event here?
Yeah, the match before the main event. Oh, did we already? Yeah, we already got through Jay Lethal.
Yeah, we did.
Dude, they should make 0-5 Lethal Russell, 0-5 Mark Briscoe for the who gives a shit about Ring of Honor title, dude. Just make the two 0-5s wrestle each other for the Ring of Honor Jobber Award. God damn it, dude. Dude, Jay Lethal's so good too. It's like, dude, that's why they have these tournaments, is so these people can get over, dude. Oh, it's so annoying.
Look, I don't even know what they're doing with Jay Lethal. Just to cap off the women's thing, because I feel bad about everything I say all the time. I just think
they put those butts on TV. We did not ask for those.
I just think they could, with the outfits, they can make these women look different. I'm talking both brands here, by the way.
Dude, Google Saudi Arabia WWE women's uniform.
Not that different, but like the lower, like tights, just give them a different look. And then the other thing too with the women's matches is they have like a couple. They have like really like three really good women's wrestlers, and the rest of them are like they're on the top rung, and the rest of them are like three rungs below. That's
Yeah,
what's the
they should be
hardest about them.
practicing. Like they should not be on television. If this was in the 80s or 90s, they'd be able to go around and do house shows to practice. But instead,
Like on WWE, they have a lot of people in the top rung, and then you have people that aren't getting over, but they're at least talented wrestling wise. And then on the bottom, you have like the Maxine Dupree's, who she's actually improving. You see it, but you know, they know when to highlight her and when not to. I just think if you really want to showcase women's wrestling, I think, you know, I think letting all these women also pick their garbs and everything. I don't know what, it just bugs me because they all pick the same thing except Hikaru Shida, who does her own designs for her gear, but that
her
doesn't
gear looks
necessarily
like,
mean
yeah,
she
it
should
looks like
be doing it.
arts and crafts class, right? It looks like a bunch of girls got drunk on wine and went to like a make your own costume wine sipping.
She's wearing a kimono, but half of it's hanging off. Like I don't understand it.
And then there's like a G string around her thigh or something. I don't know.
Again, not joking, and I'll leave it be. A little bit more modesty, I would like. I don't think every woman needs to look like they're working at the club, but I digress. That's it. I don't know. And by the way,
dude,
that's where the Saudis have it right. You know,
they do. They do.
I want some hajibs on these women. Who would have thought that? I'm sitting here arguing.
It's also,
for more
dude,
clothes.
you know how hard it is to like look attractive in like a onesie like that. Oh, no. It's like the true like who's got it, dude? Bring it.
And I'm telling you, Tori Wilson in an underwear match made my childhood at one point, but now I watch it and it's like, oh, look at that.
Well, we're old now, and they're like early 20s. I feel like a creepo.
I know. I want to just like put a robe on them and give them a sandwich and just be like, everything's gonna be okay. And that's, you know, and that I blame my aunts because they wanted to make me into a white knight figure, and it messed me up. Women don't like that either. So basically, I know every which way to make women angry at me. So that's great. So we get to the main event. Christian Cage versus the rated R superstar Adam Copeland, which still doesn't sound right. The battle of the 50-year-olds for the TNT title. Okay.
Which I was pretty like once I saw the countdown thing, I was like, oh hell yeah, dude. And then my friend sent me a text last night. He's like, this crowd's off the chain, dude. And I was like, oh shit. Oh, by the way, before we get going, let's talk about the news that like skipped on the radar. Next week, the Von Erich boys, dude.
Oh yeah.
The Von Erich boys and Kevin Von Erich, which I don't know if you saw, but Sean Rouse is it Sapp? Yeah. He put a tweet out with like Christian's face, and the Von Erich boys are going to be there next week. And it's like, oh, that's perfect, dude. I hope Christian comes out. And I mean, if you're going to get heat, dude, there's a lot of dead bodies in that family.
And they should join up with him. I'd love to see them join up with him.
Oh, shut up. That's not, no, dude. You can't join up now. Dude, the movie's dropping in 2 weeks.
The Von Erichs? I know.
Yeah, I got there's one showing in all of like, it comes out on the 23rd or 22nd, but I got like advanced tickets next Wednesday for one show at like 6 p.m. We got to drive like a half hour.
What's the movie called again?
The Iron Claw.
The Iron Claw, yeah. Let me look this up real quick. I wanted to tell you how they were previewing this thing. But look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to see the movie.
Yeah, do you think that they are going to sign the Von Erich boys, or do you think that they're just doing it as a promo for the film coming out, or maybe doing both?
Knowing them, I think they're going to sign it. They're going to sign them.
But they're going to fuck it up, dude. Pardon my French.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, if you can't get Mark Briscoe over when you have like legit unexplainable tragedy that happens, that everyone gathers around someone and wants to like lift them up, and you're too stupid to see it, you're gonna fumble the Von Erich boys too, dude. Even when the Oscar movie comes out,
They're gonna ruin it. But there was here it is. Scott Manzel. This is his review of it. The Iron Claw, and this is how they reposted this. The Iron Claw is an absolute knockout, a heartbreaking tale of toxic masculinity and mental health. Zac Efron delivers a transformative performance that is easily his best work as an actor. It's gripping, deeply emotional, and powerful. Wow, what a movie.
well, it can't not be. It's such a terrible story, dude.
You want to watch toxic masculinity? Makes me kind of think they're going to crap all over the wrestling business, but
no, I don't think so. I think it's like a family movie. I think it's like about the brothers.
They kind of throw the dad under the bus.
Yeah, probably.
They make Fritz look like a jerk, which Fritz was from a different era.
Well, like those dudes didn't really know how to. I mean, they could have great matches, but from everything I've heard in the interviews and stuff, they were super stiff, dude. Real stiff. They didn't know how to hold back on shit. So especially Kerry and Kevin, I think.
Well, look, they're gonna come. I'd like to see Christian Cage. I wish they'd sign him and join up with Christian Cage. I really do think that.
Dude, I just want him to. Dude, I swear to God, if they're doing an in-ring interview with Kevin Von Erich there with them, and then Christian Cage's music hits, I will pop no. Dude, the whole place will go oh,
I think
son of a bitch.
I think we're asking for too much, but we'll see. Look, we get to the main event.
Let's talk about this goddamn match.
Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage. What did you think about the match in general? We'll wait for the ending to talk about the ending.
Yeah, up until the last 90 seconds, I was really involved, and then it was cool. But then I also was I know Edge can be overindulgent, so when I realized there was only 18 minutes left for the actual match, I kind of thought there was gonna be some bullshit, but it was so obvious. It was so bad.
Let's talk about that. You hear that the crowd is hot. Everybody said the crowd is hot. It's Canada, and AEW didn't give them what they wanted.
No, if you're not gonna, then do a different match. Save that one for the.
Totally killed the momentum of that whole
100% killed it, dude.
It was done. And then
no one cares about a wrestler's widow. I hate to be an asshole, dude, but no one's heard of this dude. I'm sure he's a great dude, but no one's it's not like his name is in the ether of wrestling, and there's someone that it's someone's wife that we're supposed to know who she is. It's they're just introducing.
This is where we disagree a little bit, because I didn't mind the involvement. I didn't even mind that storyline, but. And again, everyone's going to think I'm an AEW hater and a WWE mark. Maybe I am. But I think WWE would have killed it. I think they would have went in there and they would have made it quicker. They didn't.
Oh, yeah, that was a real bad part.
It was so slow. She should have went in.
Oh, dude, as soon as they showed her,
yeah,
there was no doubt what was going to happen at all.
And you know what? You know what would have made it, and this is what I was waiting for, and this is the WWE in me.
You're such a fucking mark, dude. I'm sorry, I had to say
she should have hit him. Christian should have made the cover. It should have been a lot quicker. And a la Christian and Trish Stratus again when they turned on Jericho, they should have started making out hard, and she fell for Christian. And
but
they blew it.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. I know that they're going to make them a couple, right?
You can criticize Vince McMahon. I don't think they are. I think they missed their opportunity. You criticize Vince McMahon.
No, I think they're going to try.
Had them making out so hard. Yes. Can you imagine the end of that night? People would have not been disappointed. They would have been in shock.
Hands on butts.
Oh,
squeezing butts.
Because you remember when Christian and Trish did it. Everyone was surprised about that. I mean, it tells you what they lack in execution, because that I have no problem with it. It could have worked. Make it quick and then just finish it out and then
Or
build it
do
up for the
like a red
pay-per-view.
herring. Like there was no red herring. There was no
They've
reason why.
they've already done the red herring, in my opinion. I think the only thing left to do was to have them make out, and that would have been the perfect thing, and to make it quick. Instead, they had her go
Yeah,
in there, and they're like, again, you could just tell it's
you're right.
bad
She should have
producing.
went in there
She would
hungry
have,
for his wiener.
and it would have, like, she should have.
Yep.
It should have been a second of like, am I going to hit him? Am I going to hit him? No, she hits Edge. Why? Everybody knows the reason why. He slammed her son's head. It's a complicated thing about being a mom and a son. And then she and Christian should have looked at each other, and they just should have been making out hard. That was it. Jaws would have dropped. People would have been talking about it all week. People would be talking about it right now. And instead, it was just like, oh, Edge didn't do it. Why did she hit him? It's like, we know why she hit him.
It sucked the air out of the room, dude. Real bad.
It did. It didn't. That was the only way to get away with that. And they couldn't pull it off. They couldn't pull the trigger, Tinkle. They couldn't do it. Vince McMahon would have been like, yeah, I want you to make out with her.
I want to see more tongue.
All I wanted to see that I don't know why. I don't think I'm far off on this one. I don't know why, but I watched that. I got so disappointed. I said, I wanted to see them making out. That's what I wanted to see, for everyone to be shocked about that.
Well, that would have been, that would have like helped it out.
Christian, not only did she turn the son against the mother, she turned the mother of the dead wrestler that was Darby Allin's mentor or whatever away from him too, and just went over to the Christian side. I mean, are they officially calling him this, by the way? Are they calling him the patriarchy? Because that is an awesome name.
Yeah, they
for
are.
a heel group, by the way. And that is an amazing thing that he's picking up all these son
it's
figures.
kind of funny. He's like turned Nick Wayne's mom into like a slut, slut who's just like
with her tight
just like
pants.
hungry for wieners. Like that's a real funny thing, but
they didn't.
They could have started, dude. Like you said, like they dropped the ball last night by not having them make out.
Her husband was a wrestler. He would have understood. You don't waste a death on an angle like that. You go with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hell, look at Brian Pillman Jr. all these years. You don't waste a good, there's only a couple times where you don't mess with deaths in real life like that. But that one would have been like, hey, look at Eddie Guerrero and Edge. That's what I was, remember that? That was like, that was
wait, was that Eddie and Vicky? Wait, no, wait.
Yeah, Vicky and Edge. Remember after Eddie died?
That's right.
But I'm just saying that was scandalous, dude, because people loved Eddie, and they hated her to this day. They still hate her, and it's all based off of that fact that why would a widow seek love? With Edge. Nobody feels bad for her. They're mad because that was Eddie's woman.
Yeah, like how dare she go and try to get some
action, dude. I again, Vince McMahon would have known what to do with that.
Yeah, they did not know what to do. That dude, that last 90 seconds was brutal.
It was because they just they hedged. She should have went in fast. It should have been quick. Instead, it just took all the momentum. People were like, what's going on? And then she hit him, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, we knew that could have happened. That was one of the two things. The shock value would have been in the fact that she joined with him, like, completely, not that she hit Edge. What's going to happen now?
No, now they're going to start making out, dude. Now he's going to turn her. Now he's going to turn her out, which is like what they should have done already.
I don't think they talked. I don't think they. And Christian's divorced now, right? I think he got divorced.
Yeah, but dude, if they're not going to act like he turned her into a cock hungry savage. If they're not gonna act like that, I don't know. By the way, we're gonna have to throw this whole episode out. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
AEW just gets me, dude. I can't. I'll learn to not cuss next week.
They didn't finish the job, and I'm gonna tell you this.
Finish the story.
I finished the story. We're gonna finish it at WrestleMania 40. They couldn't. I'm telling you already. They couldn't talk her into doing it, and it's amazing because they made her son.
They should have told her to stay home, dude.
Her son should be on the indies. She shouldn't be anywhere there.
Bro, you're right. Dude, if Vince was there and she would have said no, he would have said, well, you send that bitch home. Find me a girl who'll suck on his tongue.
Yeah, that's it. That would have been amazing shock value. That would have been good television drama.
She won't make out with Christian.
Yeah.
She's fired.
It's because of his face. I don't know if you've ever heard those podcasts.
I want to see squeezes.
He apparently hates Christian's face.
Yeah, he wanted to put like a blue dot over his face.
Yeah.
Because he called him ugly.
Yeah. That's it.
Poor Christian. He's been through so much. I'm so glad now. I'm so glad he's got on the other side of this. Because that's what's cool about that whole like rivalry is it's not that whole thing is true, dude. He was like, once they split up, he became he really did have to claw his way to become anything. And it's kind of cool, like how far he's come now. He's like, what, top heel in the group now? Top heel.
He's a top heel over there for sure. Especially now that MJF's not really a heel. I mean,
he's amazing. Doing great on his own. If he has someone to like actually produce their shit and like clean it up.
How to not book the finish of a show. That's like that was the equivalent of a Mike Tyson matchup, and Mike Tyson decides he's going to go for the points.
Yep.
That's it.
Dude, a 12-round Mike Tyson fight. You're like, what is this horse shit?
Can you imagine that? That's what we saw last night. And it's disappointing.
That's really funny, man.
It's disappointing. I'm just sitting there.
That is what we saw last night, dude.
And
we saw a 12-round Mike Tyson fight last night.
And I sound like a punk, like I'm like, oh, it's like Victor's like wants them to make out. But that's how I wrote it. I think
if you're gonna have her come in, that's the whole thing is he is a scumbag and he's gonna trick people into doing stuff that they don't want to do. So the fact that he would like start boning his fake kid's mom is so funny.
And it's so funny because the Trish Stratus angle was like basically the same bones as this thing. It's like the turn.
Yeah.
But now we got.
So do you really think that like they got there and they said, okay, and then we want you to make out with Christian? Like,
you could.
Do you think she was straight up like, I don't want to do this?
You could talk about whatever crap about Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero knew about the business and Eddie, and you knew what the angle is, and you know how you play it. Either you're in or you're not. And I think, and look, I'm the son of a widow, man. That's the weird part about this. So I get it. You don't want to disparage this guy, and he hasn't been gone that long either, has he? I think that, it hasn't been like.
I think it's been like 10 years, maybe, or it hasn't been. I mean, the kid's only 18, dude. So
clearly, they're still working on it because that's the way they played it up in the angle. I honestly think that's the truth of it. Of the matter. I don't think she wanted to do it. I think they're probably just a little uncomfortable with it. And
then they shouldn't do it. Then if she can't, like, I mean, dude, I don't blame her. I wouldn't like if you're.
That's the whole thing. You have to get that stuff nailed down to go with it. But
also you're getting paid to pretend. Maybe
it's not real.
Kiss him.
But if these people,
I can't believe that we're arguing for like Christian to make out. Well, we really, but we're also correct. We have points to this argument.
She's like, I want to go to my community. I don't want to get looked down, frowned upon. But that's like the business, man. You know,
If that's
go
really
tell
what
him
happened, then that's a shame, dude.
if that. And I'm telling you, I don't think so because this was the opportunity. Now you do it. Now you do it. It's you lost half the heat from it,
Half,
if not more. Yeah,
dude. They ruined a dream like pay-per-view match that they gave away for free. They ruined it, dude. You kind of don't need to see them
because
again.
what happens next week? Edge comes or Edge Copeland comes out. By the way, rolling my eyes, folks. Copeland comes out and he's like, "What happened?" She comes out. You hit my son. You know, Christian comes out, delivers a promo. They set up the rematch, and they go to it. He warns her, you know, you got to back with me. I'm doing what's better for your son. And then they make out, and it's like, oh yeah, we saw this because it should have happened on Dynamite when you did it the first time. Again, it took.
I guarantee you that they're gonna like. She's gonna start dressing like a hoe. She's gonna start like hanging all over him and stuff like that. I guarantee you.
Well,
but you're right. They completely missed the ball.
I think you went with the hoe thing. I think she was she dressed a little naughty? Yes, she was that night.
No, I'm saying I think they're gonna hoe her up more, like moving forward. And I mean that as a character. I don't mean that as her person. I mean that they're gonna hoe up her character that she's pretending to be on TV.
I hope you mean it literally, and that she's wearing a really short cocktail dress and a feather boa with really, really crazy makeup, and she's just like chewing gum.
She's constantly like taking photos of herself and posting them on Instagram in her outfit.
She's like a 1920s hooker looking like. Da-da. Then they could throw her into the timeless Tony Storm angle. Maybe that's who Tony Storm goes after next. They missed their opportunity. That was it. And that, my friend, is why AEW is in trouble. Because they don't know anything about story. They're relying all too much on these people, and there's nobody producing them. To the extent
no, they don't have anyone. They don't have anyone in charge.
CM Punk was right. Bunch of children. CM Punk would have been there. He would have been like, I want you to stick your tongue down her throat, Christian. And then you just grab him right.
He'd be like, Nick, I want you to go tell your hoe mom. Yeah. She needs to go over there and kiss him. By the way, I'm calling her a hoe as a character, not
as a disparaging remark.
So this goes into perfect little preview for tomorrow night's SmackDown. CM Punk, who I believe. Oh, so did you hear that last Monday, once CM Punk showed up, I guess last Monday's Raw, they sold like an extra 2,000 tickets. People thinking he was going to be there, and they didn't announce it, and he wasn't there, and I guess people were bummed. So this week we got SmackDown. He's advertised. CM Punk will be making his debut on SmackDown with the Bloodline there, Paul Heyman there. Lots of cool stuff, dude. Lots of cool stuff. I wonder, do you think they're going to do the Paul Heyman thing now, or do you think they're going to wait a little bit?
I think they're going to they can't wait. But
you don't think? Well, I mean, because you have a lot of. You can do Randy. You can do CM Punk joins Randy. You could do.
Here's my sarcastic, which by that I mean opposite of what's not going to happen. But I'm just jokingly telling you that this is what I hope happens. Is that I hope he joins the Bloodline as their enforcer, and he spends the next few months getting Jay Uso in line. I'm just kidding. I don't know where they're going with that. I don't think he's gonna end up. The Roman Reigns stuff. I know people are like, "Oh, they got to set up Roman Reigns Punk now."
Yeah, no, I'm cool waiting for that.
You gotta finish the story with.
Yeah,
Cody.
you gotta finish the story for God's sakes.
That's it, and that's it. But now Punk can headline WrestleMania Night 1 versus WrestleMania Night 2, and everybody could be happy.
Yeah, right. Who would he? I wonder who he'd wrestle then.
I don't know. You know, LA Knight.
I mean, he won't get to because they're gonna have he will not get to headline it because I'll tell you right now because they're gonna have like a female match headline one of those nights, and the other one is already earmarked for Cody and Roman. So that's it. You got
the ladies know they don't have to look. We're
I
equal
guarantee.
opportunity.
Dude.
Who headlined last year? That was all. It was both the matches were dudes matches. It was Usos.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that like well, I mean, you know, if CM Punk makes himself to where he's like undeniable.
Who's Rhea gonna do? Because Rhea's the Rhea could headline one
Lynch.
night. Is that where we're heading?
I think so. Yeah,
I thought
think that's
Lynch.
where.
I thought Lynch was starting with somebody else.
Haven't they been doing little looks here and there? I think.
And Lynch is doing Nia Jax right now. I think, right?
Ugh. Well, if she gets out alive, if she doesn't get her like spine broken by those errant butt splashes.
You know what? I don't blame Nia. Look, she's a full-figured woman, and these other worlds are just tinier. You know, you got to have.
That's why you need to practice more, so you don't break these little girls.
That's why you got Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea in there now. Those are the Haas women versus the tiny one. Like, can you imagine? And then we should probably wrap up. Can you imagine Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, in there with all these big ladies?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because if she does come back,
tiny.
they kind of
she's tinier than Becky
small,
Lynch.
dude. I mean, she's like Riho small.
Like Rhea Ripley, you know, I don't see it. Yeah,
she's kind of small. I mean, no, she's big for a woman, and she isn't like. I mean, compared to Nia Jax, she's not very big.
I was missing her for a while, but now she belongs in AEW. That's where she should go.
Who?
And Sasha Banks, so that she can wrestle all the other people and teach them up.
Small girls, yeah,
the tiny ladies. Basically, what are the divisions in the UFC? Is it flyweight and remind me? I forgot off the top of my head.
Strawweight, and then in the 105 pound is the atom weight, which they don't have in UFC, but they have in other ones.
Yeah. So
I always thought atom weight was really funny because you're like you're like barely mass. you're just like a little thing that hasn't turned into a big thing yet.
Oh yeah. They should do 120. They should make a deal with each other. AEW and WWE handshake it, and WWE should get the 135 and above, and AEW should get the 125 and below. I think.
Oh, they kind of had that for WEC for a bit, though. Remember?
Yeah, I think that's what they should go with the women, because you know, Riho and Sasha Banks. I don't know, you know. God, Sasha Banks is such a great talent or everything, but I remember Bailey tried to throw her through.
She's also crazy, dude. She takes a lot of bumps for someone that has no extra fat to like cushion blows.
Yeah, she couldn't go through that table. I remember Bailey threw her hard through that table, and she just stood there and slid off. Man, the table was stronger than she was.
Yeah, she's an atom weight. Atom weights can't break matters.
No, they can't. It's like throwing a wiffle ball at a brick wall. You know, no matter how hard you throw that wiffle ball, it is not going to go through that brick wall.
The humanity
is not going to happen. But
are you going to watch Deadline Saturday?
I think I will. I'll probably watch it.
Is the main event is the Survivor, whatever,
the Iron Survivor, which I have to figure out every time I watch it. I didn't watch NXT this week. I did see the Lash Legend body slam Otis though, and that was impressive.
Oh, dude, my girl was like, "Whoa!" And then I explained to her though how he helped.
Yeah,
I mean, did you see that? But dude,
she held him up for a while. Yeah,
dude, she turned him. Yeah, but he totally posted on her leg. I don't know if he's like he was like. He would post it on her.
She still got to hold him, and she held it. It wasn't like.
But also, she turned him too. Not only did she pick him up, but she turned him. That was like.
You got to give her credit. She's got some Amazonian quality.
I've never seen her before. I just know that she picked him up, and my girl was like, I use her as my barometer. If she gets excited, then I'm like, okay, cool, because she doesn't really have a dog
in this fight, huh?
Although she does, she's also a WWE mark. She started off as an AEW mark, and then once CM Punk got fired, she got really bummed out. I'm a really bad influence on her. I promise I'll let her have her own thoughts. I promise. I promise.
I like how we're coming across from this. People can leave comments. We are at Tinkle and Vic on Instagram and at Tinkle and Vic on X. I'll probably spend a little more time on X. I don't know what you want to do.
Well, I was on X, and then somehow I got locked out of my account, and I tried to get back in, and it's a whole thing, dude. And so
Yeah.
I just haven't really gave a shit about X for like 6 months because I couldn't figure out what to do next because I was just going in a circle. So I'll figure that out. If not, I'm on Threads and Instagram right now.
All right. Well, follow us, and then we're going to be up on YouTube. Look for us on all platforms. If you can't find us on all platforms right away, look at YouTube, but we'll be up there. And I'm really happy that you and I are doing this, Tinkle.
I'm stoked, dude. I'm really, really stoked. I know, right?
Yeah. God bless you. God bless Tinkle. God bless America.
And next week, so you're going to watch Night of the Skywalkers. And if you want to watch a couple other matches on that, you're more than welcome to. I think they have some good goings on there other than the Scaffold match, which is, it's a spectacle, but not great, I guess is the best way to put it.
No, I love it.